All right, let's get right to it with the senator from South Carolina and chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee, Republican Lindsey Graham. Good to have you with us, Senator.
Thank you.
Okay, so we get this decision today, and it doesn't say that it doesn't get to the merits of DACA, whether it's good or not. And everyone agrees that this administration has the power to get rid of it if it chooses to. But 5 justices, including the Chief Justice and the more liberal members of the court, said the administration didn't get it right. Do you think that they'll take another stab at it?
Well, the administration can fix this pretty quickly by writing another memo, but I was stunned. I told the president Tuesday night, I don't think you can lose this one. Well, what do I know? So I think Clarence Thomas said it right. I think the DACA program created by President Obama is illegal on its face. No president can say 700,000 people here illegally all of a sudden have legal status, no matter how sympathetic the cause may be. I thought Justice Kavanaugh got it right, too. Assuming that DACA was legal, the memo by Nielsen explaining why the administration wanted to rescind the policy was more than adequate, certainly not capricious and arbitrary. So I disagree with the court. I respect the court. I like John Roberts. He's a smart guy. But the politics of immigration have changed dramatically. I think the court was arbitrary and capricious in deciding whether or not the Trump administration was arbitrary and capricious.
Well, I want to play something from Rush Limbaugh because he says that he thinks that a lot of the establishment folks in Washington want to do whatever they can to stop President Trump. And I don't know if he's including the Supreme Court, but here's what he said today.
But the thing they want is what they've already got. Supreme Court says no to Trump. Trump, whatever the headlines are, they're devastating, and it's all personal.
So a lot of people think the headlines were overblown because, again, they didn't lose on the merits of this case, and it didn't tell the Trump administration that they couldn't actually do this. But if you saw the initial explosion from the media, it looked like, the headlines were all, this is a terrible day for the president. He even tweeted, do you think the Supreme Court doesn't like me?
Well, I just think, I understand the president being disappointed. I disagree with the court, but here's what the court said. You can rescind the policy of Obama. You just have to do it differently than you chose to do it. It's not if you can overturn the DACA program, it's how you do it. It's not if, it's how. But at the end of the day, I thought the how was well delivered. And the reasoning given by the Department of Homeland Security to the court made sense to me. And Thomas had it right. You don't have to worry about why you rescind a law if it's unlawful on its face. But it's over. We're past that. So the president, Trump, what can you do? You can issue a memo tomorrow declaring why you think the DACA program should be set aside. And I guarantee you, you'll win if you do it the way Robert says. I just hate that we have to spend more time. But to those people who are talking about immigration and President Trump, he presented a package to the Congress that gave 1.9 million DACA recipient eligible people a pathway to citizenship for merit-based immigration reform and border security. So to those who say Trump hasn't tried to solve the problem, you're wrong.
Okay, let's talk about another issue that he was tweeting about today, which is one of his former advisors, John Bolton. This is what Politico says today. The headline is, everybody in Washington hates John Bolton. He says Republicans say he's a disgruntled sensationalist who's merely trying to make money off his book. And Democrats, once buoyed by Bolton's turn against Trump, now say he's, quote, unpatriotic for documenting his claims in a book rather than testifying before Congress during Trump's impeachment inquiry. I mean, that's where they wanted to hear from him. This is a pretty scorched earth book. Who will former Ambassador Bolton's friends be when the dust settles here?
Well, John Bolton's done something most people can't do, is unite the Republican and Democratic Party. The Democrats say to John Bolton, if you think treason was being committed and the president was engaged in obstruction of justice on a regular basis, why didn't you do something other than write a book? Republicans like me say, John, I've known you for 20 years. I generally agree with you. Why did you do this? Why did you break the bond of the National Security Advisor and the Commander-in-Chief? And your criticism doesn't register with me because look at what President Trump has done. He's not going to be judged by what Bolton said about President Trump. President Trump will be judged about what he's done on foreign policy. If you want a strong military, we got one. If you wanted to destroy the caliphate, we have. He has done a lot of good things. He's done more to take on China than any president in my lifetime. And Bolton was offended by the idea that Trump was upset with NATO. Well, President Trump has got NATO to pay $400 billion more for the common security of the alliance than any president in my lifetime. So when you come to Israel, John Bolton's a big fan of Israel. Name one president in modern history that's done more for Israel than Donald J. Trump. So I think the book won't mean anything for the election. I think it's going to damage what's left of John Bolton's reputation. And at the end of the day, it's going to hurt Bolton more than it hurts Trump. And it's sad because I did like John. I respected his intellect, but he went out on a very sour note.
Well, very quickly, as a lawyer yourself, there is a hearing tomorrow as the administration, the DOJ, tries to get this thing blocked. It's already been published, but it's as far as being distributed and put out. Any chance you think that a federal judge would put the brakes on this book at this point?
Maybe if he didn't go through the vetting process, but it's about the process. Who gives a damn about the book? But I think the administration is trying to stand up for the concept. You can't work for administration, use classified information to write a book. I think that's the concept they're standing up for. But the book is not going to matter in the election. And the biggest loser of all is John Bolton.
All right, Senator Lindsey Graham, always great to have you with us. See you back here in D.C. soon.
Thank you. Thank you.